Some great independent titles are hitting the shelves. Wally West meets Wally West, and Damian Wayne and the Teen Titans fight his grandpa. What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is Preview Picks, the weekly show where I go over the books coming out on Wednesday. I'm going to give you a little bit of insight and see whether there's something that you want to grab or not. To start off with, I'm going to hit up the independent books, and Image is going to have Descender number 16, which is going to finish out this story arc. And the real big tease that Jeff Lemire's been putting out there is whether one of the main characters is going to die. The cover indicates that Driller is the main focus of this, so wonder if he's no longer going to be a killer. Saga number 39 comes out, the continuing war story, which is pretty awesome. We also have the return of Renato Jones number 5, and Renato Jones is easily one of my most favorite books coming out of Image, simply because it is so wild and gonzo and crazy and amazing, and I love it. It's awesome. We also have the return of Seven to Eternity, which is going to have issue number 2, where we return to the favorite phrase of mine, bend the knee, which is amazing. We're going to see our main protagonist heading to the King of Lies, and we're going to see where that really takes us. Rick Remender's doing a great job with this, and you can't miss Jerome Opna's art. It is amazing. Once we're done with the independent titles, we're going to bounce over to Marvel, where we have Civil War 2. This series has primarily been spoiled, but the cover still indicates that Spider-Man might potentially kill Captain America, so maybe Brian Michael Bendis can kill another person that we really care about. Well, this is Hydra Cap, so he might deserve it. But the thing is, how is Spider-Man going to do this when probably in the next issue we're going to get his ongoing or introductory romance with Spider-Gwen? There's all kinds of stuff that's being screwed up in the continuity, and I don't really blame you if you want to pass on issue 6. Another issue 6 coming out, though, is Nighthawk Number 6, and that is the end of the story. There is no more books coming out after this, and it was hugely publicized because of everything that was going on with the content of the book. If you're going to read it just for that kind of purpose, go grab the trade, pick it up in that respect, or you might find them in your local dollar bin. We also have Miss Marvel number 12. She's going on a walkabout kind of in search of herself as the result of Civil War 2, and I'm not sure if it's going to play any kind of conflict with Champions, but it's a great jumping on point for her character. We also have Totally Awesome Hulk number 11, which can't escape the Civil War 2 curse, so he is still battling Hawkeye according to the way this thing works, and Black Panther in there somewhere. It's a little ridiculous, because also Ultimates number 12 is still tying into Civil War 2, and this is going to be the last issue before we get Ultimates Squared, which starts up next month. But you don't want to miss any of that cosmic goodness that Al Ewing's been writing. To finish things off, though, we're going to go with my least favorite book. Not because I don't like it, but because it signals the end of an era, and that is Vision number 12, written by Tom King. Since Tom King is signed on to be exclusive with DC, this is likely the last Marvel book that we'll see from him in a while, and it has been amazing. If you haven't had the chance to pick it up yet, go grab it. I can't recommend it enough. However, there are new number 1s coming out from Marvel too, and to start off with, we're going to go with Prowler number 1, which is really a tie-in to the Clone Conspiracy, and if the trend with Clone Conspiracy continues, it's probably going to be Prowler stealing Dr. Octopus's arms, which is already talked about in the previous 2 issues of the Clone Conspiracy tie-in, which really sucks. Not the tie-in, but the fact that the timelines are so skewed. So I'm going to give this one a shot, and if it's anything like what I expect, I'm going to find it really disappointing. One book that I don't think will be disappointing, though, is Punisher Annual number 1, which is going to be written by Jerry Conway. I know that there's an unfortunate passing that just happened. Steve Dillon, who was an iconic artist regarding the Punisher, Preacher, he really owned this character, and I really hope that this story from Jerry Conway and the whole book as an annual really kind of pays homage to what Steve Dillon took so seriously and put such a mark on. I'm going to get it. It looks like it's going to be really fun. Doctor Strange, the Mystic Apprentice, that's going to be a new number 1, and then you also have Doctor Strange and the Sorcerers Supreme, so that's also getting a new number 1 as well, and I'd have to assume that this is so that way they have plenty of Doctor Strange books on the shelves for next week when Doctor Strange the movie launches. Now that we're done with The Good Doctor, we're going to bounce over to DC and Action Comics 966, where pre-Flashpoint Superman and Lois Lane are really kind of taking over this storyline. Lois herself has gotten back into the Daily Planet and has unfortunately found herself in a run-in with the new Superwoman, so that should be pretty interesting. We also have Batgirl number 4, where the international teasing is now done, and we find the introduction of the Teacher. So how is Batgirl going to get her ass kicked in this one? I can't wait to see that. However, a book that I am going to be kind of avoiding myself is Batman Beyond number 1. The Rebirth issue didn't really resonate with me, and I don't have nearly enough backstory to really enjoy this character, so I'm going to hold off on that one. But if it's something that you're interested in, definitely go out and grab it. A book that I'm not going to avoid, though, is Deathstroke number 5. And because of the results of Deathstroke number 4, we're going to see a team swap that's going on. You've got Robin, who's currently in the possession of Deathstroke, not necessarily as a teammate, but then you also have Rose, who's teaming up with Batman to find out who put the contract on her. So that should be a killer story. Then we hop over to Detective 943, where we begin the new story arc, The Victim Syndicate. With a situation where the entire city was ravaged by these large monsters, there's no way that there could be zero casualties, and ultimately people are tired of being the victim, and they're going to lash out at the people that supposedly protect them. That's the vigilantes. So this is supposed to question everything that these characters know about who they are, what they do, and why they do it. And I can't wait to see where that's at, because James Tynion IV has been knocking it out of the park with that book so far. We hop over to Flash number 9, where we get Wally West meets Wally West in The Kid Flash of Two Worlds, which is a super great cover. It's a super great title. I can't wait to see where that one kind of goes. And for those people that aren't necessarily a fan of the current art style, there is a new artist that's coming out of this book, so that's going to be something to watch out for. We also have Frostbite number 2, which is also from Joshua Williamson, and now we're going to see the lone marauders trekking across the ice to get their way to Alcatraz. And I was a little bit hesitant on this particular book at the end of it, but I'm going to give issue number 2 a shot just to see where everything kind of fleshes out and see how Joshua Williamson develops this world. It could be some very interesting twists, and I'm going to dig into this one to see if there's something that can hold on. Then we head over to Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 7, where we're going to see Hal versus Sinestro with the possible backup of the Lanterns that have found their way out of wherever the hell they were to come and battle on Warworld. Next is Hellblazer number 3, which is slowly working its way out of my pull list, and Suicide Squad number 5, which has already basically been banished from my list until I get some sort of semblance of consistency in terms of the story and something I can sink my teeth into a little bit more. But a book that I'm always going to be picking up is Titans, and Titans number 4 comes out, and we're going to see what Wally West does. Is he going to save the Titans, or is he going to save the love of his life that doesn't really know who he is and has never had a relationship with him? I'm really in it for the DC Rebirth Easter eggs, and I hope there are a few more in this book that I can kind of pour over. Then we also had Wonder Woman number 9, which continues on with the modern-day story arc called The Lies. And with the successful redemption of Barbara Minerva, aka the Cheetah, I can't wait to see where this goes as they hunt for Themyscira and the truth behind Wonder Woman's past. However, if you guys have stuck with me this long, you know that the big book for this week is going to be Teen Titans number 1. And Teen Titans Rebirth was one of the most entertaining books that I had read out of this kind of genre. You know, it was a really grab-me episode. You know, I really was digging on where that is. And John Boy Meyer's art, as well as Ben Percy's whole storyline, was one of the best things about it. And people were like, they were worried. They were really worried that the art was no longer going to match up with the storyline, simply because a lot of these books have a really superstar artist or a unique artist that goes in for the Rebirth issue, and then they switch over to a different artist for the main title. So I'm really stoked to see John Boy Myers still doing this first issue, and the fact that Damian Wayne is going to start tackling the task of taking down his grandfather, Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to pronounce it. I think that that's going to be a standout issue for this week. So those are all the books that I'm picking up this week and that I'm really checking out. So I want to know what you guys are thinking, whether I'm picking out some good books or if there's something that I really missed that I should probably go grab as well. As always, if you like what you see, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.